Jay and Kev starts now.
Season 2, Episode 4. It is Christina K on the East Coast, Kevin Coveas on the West Coast, and Kev, you not only got the blue memo, but you're wearing New York, and I'm wearing Disneyland, so I'm repping California.
You're repping Cali, I'm repping New York, of course, my Knicks. I've got all my sports hats draped in the background with the amazing walk banner. You would think I was in New York. I'm just like completely repping New York. And how badly do I want this to be a sports, podcast that we do here? Because
I know.
I know. And you're disgusted by it. You're like, no, we're not going to talk about the Knicks. I don't care if they finally have a winning record for the first time in like 50 years. We're not talking about them.
Even I know that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. Yeah, and I could not be more excited about it. We're taping this on a Saturday. They play later tonight.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. Can't wait. But we're done talking about sports because we got a lot of other stuff to get
Well,
to.
I will say I do like your backdrop. I like the hats on top of the banner.
Thank
It's very
you.
nice.
I tried something different this week, recording in in the bedroom this week. And I don't know why I said it like that. That was super creepy. Recording in the bedroom. No, I'm stopping that. But yeah, so we're in here trying something new and making it work. Yeah.
I love it. And are you going to be joining us here on the East Coast anytime soon?
I plan to, yes. So my initial plan was to actually, again, we're filming this on a Saturday. My initial plan was to fly home Sunday, tomorrow. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen because I pushed my trip back to Thursday. Basically, I've had a crazy couple of weeks. Very fortunate to be doing lots of self-tape auditions for the acting.
Yes.
This is the world we're living in now, where everything's happening at home. You're doing multiple jobs, working for multiple stations from home. It's wild. It's a wild time that we're living in. It's amazing that we can do it. For me, getting to do the self tapes has been really great. And I actually got news that I was. They put you what they call for national commercials. They put you on a veil. If you, I got a call back
on a veil.
And they call it on a veil. It's just a very like
available,
like available. Yeah, it's very very like stuffy, arrogant. Like Hollywood. Oh, you're on a veil. Yeah. So without going into specifics on the company and whatnot, I get put on a veil for a pretty big national ad, and I was very very excited. And I'm one of the finalists. But the thing is, like, when they put you on a veil, you're committing to like a long list of dates, like, potentially up to a couple of weeks, saying I'm available to do this. Of course, I already have a trip scheduled home to fly home, but I'm canceling that if I get this, if I get this work. So unfortunately, they had me on a veil for close to a week, and then yesterday I got the news that that I'd been released, that I was one of the finalists. I did not get the role, which it's okay. This happens all the time. I'm in positive spirits. Something else will come. Good. But the unfortunate part about it is you have to make all these changes in your life. Like I moved my flight and almost canceled my trip because of this. And so now my plans have been adjusted. Yeah. Instead of coming home to New York for a full 2 weeks, I'll be there for a week and change. I'm planning to fly home this upcoming Thursday. Yeah.
Is this your first time flying during the pandemic?
No, I came home.
Wait, holidays.
Holidays.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And I actually went to visit my my brother and my father and my uncle down in Fort Myers, Florida at the very start of the pandemic, literally 1 year ago.
That's right. That's right, because I was in Disney World when it closed, and then like you were, as I was flying out, I think you were coming in, right? Or vice versa. You were flying home and I was something like that. We were there like around the same time.
Yes, we were there around the same time, and it was just crazy. It's I went to Florida and it was a full flight, and then when I came back, like the flight was like every middle seat was empty because nobody wanted to fly because everything was getting locked down. It was just a crazy time, but so I have traveled during the pandemic, and thankfully traveling starting to feel safer with all the vaccines.
I know.
Now we got to talk about that too.
Yeah, but I want to finish this stuff with the audition. So you and I have talked about this in the past, because when you get something or potentially get something, you have to give so much up. Remember, and I'm not going to get into specifics, but years ago, I was auditioning for something Broadway related.
I remember
and it was no guarantee that I was going to get the part, and they wanted me to leave my job. It was basically like, be available. And I was like, there's no guarantee at the end of this workshop that I'm even going to have this role. So why am I giving up my on-air career for potentially getting something.
How frightening is that, right? It's like all the things you put on the line, and that's that's why a lot of people, and you talk to people in like my family, and I know your family have been so supportive of our careers and our pursuits, and in the arts, and in this entertainment industry. But like that's why what people don't understand, like who work, who have like the steady jobs, is like, how could you ever even consider doing that? Because there is an element of risk to it. It's very scary, and you made a great choice for you, and it's like giving up potentially a sure thing for the unknown, essentially. It's a really crazy sort of thing that we do here.
But I remember when I made the decision, it stuck with me for a while. Did I make the right decision? Like, it tore me up. I'm very lucky where I had a full-time job to potentially have to give up, but I give credit to any actor out there who would just jump at that opportunity and go on all these auditions. And I get a little anxiety just remember like the audition process, and especially now during the pandemic, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it could be pretty terrifying. I mean, I'm very lucky because I do have other work that I do that kind of keeps my days full, to kind of maintain that steady or semi-steady income. But on top of that, to have the luxury, and it's so nice to be able to work from home, to have the luxury of self-taping from home as well. It's like really nice because, as fun as it can be to like go about town and go to different places for these auditions and sit in a room with 20 weird looking guys that look exactly like you. It's also kind of wild. It can make for a wild schedule. So it's kind of nice to, you have your home shop, your home setup, one-stop shop to, get all that done and get all these self-tapes done. And in addition to that commercial, I've been really lucky to get to knock out a bunch of little TV auditions and things like that this past week, and just holding out hope. Hopefully the new week, hopefully this year brings some exciting new projects. So we'll see.
I have a lot of hope. I have more hope. Like every time we talk, I feel like I have more and more hope than I did in the beginning of this pandemic. So I'm sending lots of hope your way, Kev, because something's going to happen. I always believe that. I believe something's going to happen. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
In the air. There's something good is happening. Yeah.
I feel it. It's funny that you say like the whole, doing the self tapes, because everyone would think, oh, well, that's easy because if you don't like it, you can go back and redo it. And the same thing is on air too. Like I have no audience around me, none of my coworkers judging me for a break, but yet in a way, I feel like I feed off of that when they're around. So you must feed off of the people, like the producers and casting directors and stuff too. You get a reaction from your audition.
Yeah, I think I prefer being in the room with the casting directors or the casting assistant, or if you're lucky and get called back once or twice, or God forbid 3 times, you're in there with some heavy hitters, the producers or the director. And it raises the stakes, and like it almost makes you, it's like I got to bring my A game versus being at home, and it's like it's amazing you have the luxury of friends and peers and fellow actors and who can help you out with these auditions. And it's crazy, you don't even need someone physically with you. Like the way we're Zooming right now, I could have you Zoom and help me out with an audition. It's nuts the way we can do it now. But to be able to do it over and over again is almost like it's even more pressure for me. It's like, well, now I got to get it perfect, and it's got to be, and it's not good enough. And there's that. So it's easy to psych yourself out when you have like too much time to think about something. That doesn't just apply to acting. That's anything in life.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you have that restraint, or it's like, okay, one shot, I can't blow it, then, that's that forces you to bring your A game a bit more. Yeah.
It's like sometimes you work better under pressure. Not that it's pressure to go to an audition, but it's more pressure.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's pressure all the time, but it's like, yeah. There's definitely more in those moments. I agree. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait till I get that call from you that you get one of them, that you're on a veil.
It's coming. I'm on a veil and I got it. And they gotta go call some other guys to say, oh, you got released. Sorry. Kevin's job.
You got released. That is like, oh, I just hate that.
It's just statement. So gross.
We're gonna release you now.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's great. It's great to even be in a position to be able to say that you got that close. But it's the process. We're just on that roller coaster. Yeah, and it's that's how it goes. That's why I don't feel badly for myself. It's what I signed up for.
It's true. Yeah, but there are some times where it's okay to feel bad for yourself about it. Like you want to be working, you want to be doing that. You have a gift and you want to share it with the world.
Of course, yeah. We're just dying to perform. We are performers by nature. This is what we do. We want to go out. We want to perform. Yeah.
I feel that way even with just like doing interviews too. Like I feel like there's only so much I can do, through Zoom. I can't fully perform the way I'm used to.
For sure.
And I'm sure there's so many people that can relate, whether they're performers or not, like just performing at work. I did see you though, filming a little something on your Insta story. What was that?
Oh gosh. Yeah. I have some really funny friends. Their names are Spike and Isaac. These guys are fantastic. They're like they're aiming to be the new Key and Peele. And there's a lot of comparisons. They're very funny guys. And they just make these really great sketches, and we go back a number of years here. These guys have been friends of mine for a long time, and they'll ask me to come in and like do these little supporting roles in their sketches. So we filmed a little something this past week too, and it's great that on top of the auditions and some of these opportunities to go out for stuff, that you have friends, really creative friends, working on projects that are incorporating you into those projects. So yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, I went years without working on like shorts and sketches out here. And now that I have like friends who are really hungry to do them, and I'm trying to get myself to start writing more and doing more myself, it's like, I want to take part in that. It's like, it doesn't have to be like, like a studio film to be a really cool project, So we're having a lot of fun doing that. It's a new episode. I'll definitely put it up on my Instagram, but they call it Spike and Isaac is the handle on Twitter and Twitter. What am I talking about? Instagram, not Twitter.
With the times, Kev.
I got to get with the times. I'm living in 2010 over here. What the hell am I doing? But yeah, so go follow those guys. They're a riot, and it's gonna be fun. We got a new episode coming out. It's called Side Effects, so it should be a good time. I mean, you make a little appearance, yeah, but it's fun.
All dressed up too.
Oh
like,
yeah.
What is Kev doing in a tux on the streets in California? What is this?
just on a tux in Culver City, California. Like, what's this guy doing? Yeah. All the cars are driving by. They're like, who the hell is this guy? Like, what's going on here? Yeah. Is he going to a wedding? Like, what's happening? Yeah.
I watched it a couple of times. So I was trying to like put the pieces together of what you were filming, but also I just miss California so much. I was trying to see if I like knew the area you were filming in.
Trying to figure out like, where is this? Culver City. That's where it is, which is a lovely part of town. I really enjoy it over there. Yeah, it's nice.
Oh, I miss California so much. I can't wait until the day where I can hang out with you in Cali again, because it's been a while.
You're coming out. You're coming out. Listen.
I don't know when.
We got these vaccines. That's the start, right?
Yes.
That's the start. And from there, we give it a little time. We wait for the world to sort of get back to normal here, and then we can travel comfortably and see one another comfortably. And like,
I can't wait.
You feel the shift there the same way I feel good about things within the industry. You feel the shift in the world. At least I do. I'm definitely encouraged. I mean, how are you feeling about it?
Well, yeah, you know what? I was hopeful, and then like the next day I wouldn't be, and I was unsure. But I got the first vaccine, as did you, and I don't know. I got the first vaccine, and after that, I felt like here's physical proof of hope. Like we're one step closer.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. It was great to go, because here's the thing, like I was so certain. I was like, oh, this isn't going to be available to me yet, despite the fact that I deal with my health stuff, though, as we both do. But I just called them and I was like, hey, what's your availability? And I was expecting 2-3 weeks. And they're like, oh, can you come in Wednesday? And I'm like, yeah, I can come in Wednesday.
Amazing.
And I'm like, this is fantastic. So I felt really lucky, because I know how badly so many people want access to it, or so I just felt grateful to be able to get it. Again, I've just gotten the first vaccine, still waiting on the second with Moderna. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Moderna, yeah, I think so.
Moderna, there you go. So Moderna.
It's so funny, because I wasn't supposed to get the first vaccine until April. Like I used to call 3-4 times a day waiting for the vaccine, because on Long Island it is very hard to find the vaccine.
I'm sure.
And then all of a sudden, my sister, who we both have type 1 diabetes, Kevin and I, but my sister is completely healthy, and she tells me, oh, I'm going for the shot on Wednesday. And I was like, how are you getting the vaccine? And it turns out with her job, she was eligible because it's like a public job to get it. And I was like, okay, well now if you're able to get it, I was like, let me try. So I did some research and they had opened up a new vaccine site. And I was like, I can go tomorrow at 11. I was like, is this legit? I didn't know if it was legit or not. So the whole time
where am I going? Some alleyway? Yeah.
And I went to what was it, Suffolk County Community College, and like the whole way there, I'm like, I don't know if this is legit. And then the first entrance was closed, and I was like, this is not legit. And then all of a sudden I see a cop car, and I was like, okay, let's go there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until they put the vaccine in my arm that I was like, I don't know if this is legit or not. I don't know if I'm gonna walk.
The whole time you thought you were being set up with a fake vaccine.
It just seemed too good to be true. I was like, I've been trying and trying. So I was able to get it. I got Pfizer. And I will say, Kevin and I both had very different reactions. As a type 1 diabetic, everyone just assumes if you have an underlying health condition, you're going to have a reaction. It took me like, I think it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I was sitting here doing my show and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not feel well. But for me, it spiked my glucose. My glucoses were over 500, which is very high if you're not familiar. That's high, yeah. For a while. And I think that's why I had so many reactions to it, because of my blood sugar.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing, when dealing with something like type 1 diabetes, it will, if you're feeling sick, having that will only enhance those bad feelings. And in this case, it contributes. If you're ill with something else, the sugars rise dramatically, and to have high blood sugar, it's tough to describe. It's such a lousy feeling. I wake up with it time, and it's just, you just feel rotten. You just like,
disoriented, like everything bothers you.
Stiff in the joints sometimes as you get older, and just like it's just dry mouth or things of that nature, and it's a very unpleasant feeling that's tough to quite pin down. But it's I mean, to be dealing with that, from getting the vaccine, it's crazy. And for me, I was so lucky that I felt fine. I felt absolutely fine. And the hope now is that after we get our second ones here.
Yeah, but I will say I was in bed for I was able to work. I would come and do my show and then be in bed around breaks. I literally would go into my room, time it out. I would hear the music. I'm like, all right, I got to come in and do another break. So that was the nice thing about working from home. But even being in bed and feeling rotten, I just felt so hopeful, because I was like, this is one step closer, even though I don't feel well, to everyone else feeling well and being out in the world again. And so for all of you who are afraid of getting a reaction, I can't speak for everyone. For me, it was worth it, because I'm going to be getting my life back. So it was 2 days or 3 days, whatever it was, of not feeling on my A game, but I'll be on my A game when I'm back around people.
Absolutely. Just to piggyback what you said, I think feeling lousy or feeling ill for a couple of days, it's a small price to pay, for the end result of, being, almost entirely assured that, this horrible thing is not going to affect you, And
could you imagine how horrible we would feel if we actually had COVID? So exactly. I'd rather it be this than that.
You would think it, based on everyone's description of COVID and how terrible that feels, it pales in comparison to what having COVID would be like. And I mean, you've just heard such horrible, sad stories, COVID related. Yeah. Hey, listen, it's we're making the progress. The numbers are going down. And I just think with each episode that we do here, hopefully we're on the upswing. And soon we'll, when I'm home for visits, we'll be able to do this thing in person. I know.
I cannot wait, Kev. I
gotta come check out that home studio. That's a nice little setup you got over there. Yeah.
I gotta clean it. I've done spring cleaning in all the other rooms in my apartment, but this one, I feel like this is the room right now where everything ended up from the other rooms that I had to get out of the way. So I'm like, before my show on Monday, I really need to clean it. So it'll be clean by the time you get here.
It's all good. Yes. By the time I get there in like 7 or 8 months, maybe it'll be clean. So, yeah.
Before we get to our question, because we got a really great question to talk about, I briefly want to talk about your friend is premiering in a show this week. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. One of my closest friends, Adhir Kalyan, he's on a new show on CBS, a new Chuck Lorre show. And that's, pretty big name.
He's got a good track record, that man. Yeah.
Pretty big track record. If you're a fan of, Big Bang Theory, if you're a fan of Mom, if you're back in the day, if you were a fan of Crazy Charlie Sheen and 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my buddy Adir is the star of this new show called The United States of Al, and I got to give it its due. It looks amazing. It's got a great message. It's about a war vet who returns from Iraq and or returns from Afghanistan, I should say. And yeah, he comes home and is having trouble getting acclimated to normal life here back in the States. And his buddy, who's played by, his buddy named Al, who's played by Adir Kalyan, my friend. He comes and he was his interpreter during war times over there, and then he comes to the States to start a new life. And so it's a sitcom about that. Go watch the trailer. I'm just thrilled. I think it's a show with substance, with a great message, and
love it.
I'm just really happy. I'm really happy for my friend because he's a terrific actor.
Yes.
And just happy to see him get his due. I mean, he works steadily. He's great, but just see him get his due in this leading capacity, in this leading role on what could be potentially a huge show. So the show premieres this upcoming Thursday, April 1st, 8:30, CBS. Check it out.
So Thursday we'll watch that, and then Friday we'll watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Have you watched it briefly? Have you watched
Hold
it?
on. I have watched it. I know you're going to be surprised because every time we talk, you're like waiting for me to say, I haven't gotten around to it yet. I know they are 2 episodes in, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yesterday was the second one.
I have only watched the first. I've watched the pilot.
Okay.
And I'm thoroughly impressed. I love it. I don't know. How do you feel about it compared to WandaVision? I know obviously very different shows and different characters. What general opinions, I guess?
If I'm comparing the beginning of WandaVision to the beginning of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because that's really all we can compare right now. Sure. I think it's not as slow of a start. I feel like there were moments that were slow in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it just was so much more Marvel from the beginning. And personally, here's what I really loved about it. My favorite Marvel movie is Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Sure. The beginning of Falcon and the Winter Soldier started a lot like Captain America, the Winter Soldier with that battle scene. This one was in the air, that one was on a ship. But they were fighting the same person, and I was like, there are so many similarities, and that's my favorite Marvel movie. So sure. I liked that. I appreciated that. I don't know, it has so many Marvel feels to me that WandaVision didn't really have as much. I don't know if it ever fully had a Marvel feel to me. Maybe the last episode, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it just like is what we know, and that's comforting to me, and I like that.
Absolutely, yeah. WandaVision had sort of an unorthodox feel throughout. Because it was just different. I think that it was Marvel was like, we got these characters. Let's get a little zany here. And it was, and I appreciated in the long run. I appreciated what they did. We talked about how slow that was getting out of the gate, and I agree with you about Falcon and the Winter Soldier here. That little slow at times in the pilot, but but I understand that. I don't care about that. For establishment's sake, I get that.
Right.
Anthony Mackie is just he's
so funny.
And I will say this about him. He's terrific in feature films. Obviously, that goes without saying. But I think his presence really not caters to the television format or this like TV show format, but I think he's such a steady presence, and he's so natural that like it really works like in a fleshed out sort of format now that we get to see episode to episode. He's so natural. He's like, I said the same stuff about Elizabeth Olsen, but it's true. It's like these are terrific actors in these projects. Marvel's not messing around. Obviously, they're bringing in the top guns for these roles. And I've always loved Anthony Mackie. Going back to 8 Mile. Do you remember?
Yes, his first role. Yes.
Oh my God! Do you remember him in 8 Mile when he clams up at the rap battle at the end and he choked. I freaking loved him in that, and I've loved him ever since. Great! What a great actor.
And he's so natural too. And I love the dynamic with him. And I've said this in every movie they've ever been in together. Him and Sebastian Stan together is magic.
Well, Sebastian Stan is just so damn cool. Another
I love him.
Very natural actor. But he's just everyone women want to be with him, men want to be him. He's just a cool dude. And like I can't hate on Sebastian Stan. He's very talented. And another actor who can kind of bounce around, because I looked up his other recent work. This is really random reference, but did you know that they're doing a Pamela Anderson Tommy Lee movie? Did you know this? and he is playing Tommy Lee. No, hold on.
Sebastian Stan?
And I love the choice. I think he's going to kill it. I can't wait to see this.
Well,
they were such a wild couple. Yeah, I don't know.
He was in I, Tonya. And when he got casted in that, I was like, okay. And then after I watched it, I was like, he can do everything.
He was fantastic in that. Another actor who's a chameleon. You know, he's got a specific look, I suppose, but like he's capable of playing all these different roles. So like, and it must be so fun for these guys, like to be able to do roles like that. Like he gets to work on this like this badass Marvel project, and then he gets to go and try something weird, like doing a Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee flick. Like I can't wait to see that. Like I don't know what it's gonna be.
I only want to see it because he's in it. He's the only reason I'll see it.
I know that's not really your cup of tea. You're like, why are you referencing this on our episode of Kay and Kev right now? But I think it's gonna be great. I can't wait. And Sebastian Stan, terrific actor. Listen, they just have great performers on this show, and I can't wait to even and then who's the new Captain America? It's Wyatt Russell.
Yeah. So
how do we feel about you don't feel good about Wyatt Russell.
You're gonna have to text me after you watch the second episode, but I wanna read you this meme that I found that words were never more true. It's a picture of Loki, and it says screen time hours, dangerous villain, does evil and mischief things, hated by no one. Then it's a picture of this new guy, screen time 8 seconds. All he did is holding Cap's shield and smile and wink, hated by everyone.
Sure.
My stomach, like I had like a knot in my stomach when he walked out. I was like, nope, because Chris Evans, Captain America. I mean, I'm looking at my little Chris Evans, Captain America shrine here. No.
I didn't mean to trigger you. I didn't mean to get you upset. And I know
not okay with it.
I should have done my due diligence and watched the second episode so we could talk about this in its entirety.
Oh my gosh.
But you know what? I think it was great casting, and I'm going to tell you why. Because he has an unlikable face. So I don't know.
Well, I will say without the mask, it's a little bit more likable, but I still want to punch it.
I still think he's got like this kind of like grin. I think he's a good actor, but like I don't mean this in a bad way. Like I'm knocking the guy. I just think that like for the intended purpose of replacing this guy and the introduction of the character, I kind of like it. I don't know. And he's did
you just say you like it? I'm sorry. No.
Yeah. Well. I mean, was Chris Evans going to be on the show? I mean,
they should not have anybody be a new Captain America. Just introduce a new character.
Yeah, that's fair. Wow, this is a rarity, folks. This is one of the first times that Kay and Kev are disagreeing on Kay and Kev. We're usually on the same page. You're like, no, this is
I am very passionate about. He is my favorite superhero, one of my favorite just characters ever, and
most people's favorite superheroes. Yeah. He's beloved. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have more thoughts on this after episode 2. I will say he's got, he comes from good stock. I mean, he's Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's kid. So.
Oh, is he?
He sure is.
Oh, look at! Oh, I can see it now. Okay.
Yeah.
I still don't like him. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. All
right. Yeah. Let's get into the question because this is a really, really good one from Megan. Thank you, Megan, for sending the question and for hanging out with us. Did you ever regret not taking a picture with any celebrity? This is one that I had told Kevin about this ahead of time because it's a thinker.
Yeah.
It's a thinker. So for me, I went through it in my head and I was like, most of the people I've ever interviewed, the process is you interview them, then they take pictures with everybody. So you usually just get a picture. And at first I was like, oh, okay. When I interviewed One Republic, I was like, I didn't get a picture with them. And I said, no, I did. I regret not getting it on my phone. I took it with like a station camera. I've yet to see this picture. And Ryan Tedder is Ryan Tedder. I know. But my answer would be, and it's so funny because we're talking about Marvel.
Yes.
In 2016, I think it was, my family's first time in Disneyland. We're in the lobby of the hotel. And this is one of those things, I thank God that my family had not watched a Marvel movie before this because they would have been embarrassing. And it was right when Civil War came out. And they were doing, or maybe it was like when Civil War came out. And they were doing a bunch of press at Disneyland. And I had no idea.
Good timing.
And we're in the lobby and I'm looking at this guy sitting on the couch and I'm like, he looks familiar. My family's not good with celebrities. They don't know who people are. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, yep, no, that's definitely him. I heard him like say something. I'm like, that's definitely him. But
Ooh.
so I'm like, I'm just gonna be very mature about it. I'm not gonna say anything. And I'm in the gift shop and I keep staring at him in the lobby. And I'm like, oh, because I'm a Marvel nut. And I was like, I really want to go up to him, but I shouldn't. And by the time I showed my sister who it was, I re-Googled and she was like, oh my God, that really is him. He had walked away and he was like with his family. I didn't want to interrupt him, but Robert Downey Jr.
Oh my Lord.
I know. Look, if it was Chris Evans, he's a big Disney nut. I'm a big Disney nut. I feel like that would be okay. Sure. And people run into him in Disney World all the time.
You went, but that's
Robert Downey Jr. I know.
A list of A-listers.
I was like, look, I'm not even, if I was working and I was like, it'd be one thing, but I'm just a guest in Disneyland. He's a guest in Disneyland. Like, I don't want to make it a big, he seems so like, yeah, I didn't want to be that person, but I do kind of regret it because it's Robert Downey Jr. He's Iron Man. I mean,
freaking Robert Downey Jr. Oh my
Lord. Now it wasn't until right before Endgame came out that my family started watching the Marvel movies, and my mother is obsessed with Iron Man. Like she was like, I can't believe I didn't know that was him. I would have gone up to him, and I was like, thank God you did not know.
Yeah, like this is a best case scenario that you hadn't seen any of the movies. Because that reaction would have been insane, I imagine.
Yeah, but like, man,
that's tough to top. Robert Downey Jr. Jeez.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I know.
Yeah, I think I would have done the same thing in your situation. I honestly think that way.
Yeah, I just didn't. He was so. I think he was with his wife, and they were just like laughing and talking, and I was like, he probably gets this all the time. I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
Especially being in the industry. Maybe our paths will cross at some point. I don't want him to be like, I remember you.
I remember you. And geez, you annoyed the crap out of me. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. But like, hey, listen, I think you gave him a moment of normalcy in a life that I'm sure is largely not normal because of just how huge his star is. That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. Great answer. Great A.
Yeah, great. Would you say it's Iron Man level?
I would say it's Iron Man. And yeah. I'd say that's Stark Industry approved. Yes. I don't know. You need to cut my mic off. I don't even have a mic. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, stop it.
Okay, wait, is it my turn?
Yeah.
I'm going with, all right, I got to go with a heavy hitter now too. If you're bringing the A game, I got to bring the A game. And I got to bring Long Island's A game and say the incomparable Billy Joel. I got to say Billy Joel.
Wait, when was that?
So this was back in the day. This was back in the glory days of Kevin Coveas, back on American Idol. So 2006 was the year. I get off the show and I come home, and Long Island is just shows me nothing but absolute love, and just they're amazing to me in every way. And they invite me to the Long Island Music Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, and I get to introduce the induction for Perry Como, who is a great classic artist and of yesteryear now. And his family comes up to accept on his behalf, and I'm backstage at this award show, and who's several feet away from me, none other than Billy Joel. He's there. Billy Joel's there, and he's just getting and just a bunch of just suck ups are just like schmoozing and chatting and laughing, laughing at everything he's saying. It's Billy Joel, and I feel like I had an opening. I feel like I could have just gone up and been like, hey, Mr. Joel, but like, what are you supposed to do? Like, what are you supposed to do? I kind of had the same moment that you had with Robert Downey Jr. Obviously, maybe different circumstances or whatever, a different setting, I should say, but I didn't want to be the guy. I didn't want to be that guy. I was like, so I did nothing. I didn't, I mean, I would have settled for even like a handshake to be like, oh yeah, Billy Joel shook his hand. That's nuts. It didn't happen, but I was like, forever will remember that moment to be like, man, to have been that close to him at all. Yeah. For the guy that has sold out Madison Square Garden 800 million times. That's, is nuts to me. So I'm honored. I'm honored to have been in his presence.
It's in the same room.
That to me is enough,
See, for me, and I don't know, it could be different because you're on the talent side of things. For me, my rule of thumb with celebrities and taking pictures is unless I'm interviewing them, I usually don't ask for a picture. It usually just happens.
Sure. Happens naturally, yeah.
I want to be professional. So, but if there's like a celebrity and I'm at an event, like I can't tell you how many times I've been in an event with celebrity and nobody believes me because I have no picture. But like, I was at something and Michael Bolton was there, and my sister's obsessed with Michael Bolton. But I didn't want to be like, hey, can we just take a selfie really quick? Like, my sister's obsessed with you. Like, I just feel weird about that. So my rule of thumb is, unless I'm doing an interview and the opportunity presents itself, I don't ask. And how about you when you're working on a project with someone? Same.
I won't ask. I hate asking. I really do. It's not my thing. There was one instance where I actually did ask because I love my mother. I worked on the film Identity Thief with Melissa McCarthy. And I was, my mother is like the biggest Melissa McCarthy fan on planet Earth. She's got, tons of fans, but like, my mom is a huge fan of hers. So we shoot this part, unfortunately, that ultimately got cut out of the film. I've mentioned this on previous episodes going back years on the podcast, but like, got cut out of the film for certain circumstances. And I go to ask her, I didn't want to ask initially, but my parents said, look, say no if you want. Is there any way you could ask? And I asked if she could sign an autograph for my mother, and she could not have been more gracious. And it was just like, but I was mortified. I was like,
I'd be too.
This is not something I do. And it's like, I was happy to do it in this case. And I love my mother to death. But so, and she just couldn't have been more gracious. So she made me feel totally fine about it. And, it is what it is. But that's like the one circumstance where I was working, where I was like, you know what? I got to be that guy this time. And it worked out just fine. Other than getting cut out of the film, it worked out just fine.
Karma.
It's like, well, maybe you shouldn't ask for that autograph. Maybe you would have been in the movie.
Look, I give you credit for that, because I didn't even ask the Backstreet Boys, who I like worship, for an autograph. I got a picture with them.
No, I don't do it. Normal.
I won't have autographs. It's weird for me because I always feel like they might think that I'm looking to sell it or something, like if it's something that's signed. So I always feel weird about it. A picture, if I'm in it, okay, that's for me, but I feel weird about the autograph thing.
No, it's not something I ordinarily do. And I, she made me feel totally fine about it in the end, which was really lovely of her. And overall, she was just like, couldn't have been a more lovely person, but like, and so much fun to work with, and just as funny in person, if not more more so in person than she always appears on screen. But we had a lot of fun working on that. Wish the end result was a little different, but we still had great memories, and like
exactly.
And an autograph for mom. Yeah.
And you got a picture with her. I remember that picture. I love that picture.
I did. We got pictures on set, so that was pretty cool. Like you said, sometimes they'll take the pictures on set. They'll do that. Didn't get my picture with Billy Joel, but I did get one with Melissa McCarthy, so that's pretty cool.
I adore her, so I think that's a pretty good picture to have. I
could be doing a lot of work, Christina.
I'm thinking about all these people that I thought I had so many pictures with people, and I have like a big poster here of like a whole bunch of people I have pictures with, and I'm like thinking now, wait, I never got a picture with that person, or that person, or that person, and I'm like, how did that not happen?
It was really difficult for me. This was such a great question.
Great question.
It's really difficult for me to come up with an answer, because I literally thought of like 5 to 10 like pretty decent sized celebrities where I was like, oh man, I never got a picture with that person. I met him and nobody will know. Yeah, but
oh man. And that's the thing too, in the age of Instagram, where they're like, picture or it didn't happen. Okay, but at the same time, like I remember I was at Comic-Con last 2 years ago, and I was hanging out with Kel Mitchell, and he was being bombarded by people asking for selfies, and I'm like, I was working, so I was like, I don't want to be that person, but like also I loved Keenan and Kel, like I kind of want a picture with Kel.
Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't want a picture? Yeah.
Right? Oh man, this is a great question. If you guys have questions for us, we would love to answer them. So if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment below, or you can email me, Christina@walkradio.com. We got some good ones, but this one, that's something I never thought about.
Okay, yeah, please keep the questions coming. We love answering these. I love answering from the viewers, for sure.
So you guys work on that. Give us your questions, and Kev, you work on catching up on Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I got some work to do. I got to catch up on that. I got to watch my Knicks tonight, as I said.
Yes, good luck.
This is a busy weekend for me. Yes, very exciting.
At least we have one. I haven't had a busy weekend and I don't even know how long.
And they're going to get busier as we keep getting back to normal. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Yeah. I love it. A lot of hope in sight. Well, Kev, good luck to you with everything that you're working on and have a safe flight, okay?
Thank you. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.